Believe it or not, I'm a fan of Star Wars. Alexa, lights on. There's a big issue right now with the sequel trilogy. And yet, the counter-argument to it is so simple, no one has really considered it. This is what I shall call the rule of three. Honestly, you have no idea how proud I am of that title for it. Here's the thing, everyone talks about the original trilogy like it's a masterpiece, and frankly, it is. They're amazing films. And then people look at the prequel trilogies, and the opinions are mixed, but generally people really like them, if it be for memes or generally as a film. Plus, with the added Clone Wars TV series, it's like just magnificent, but semantics. Then we look at the sequel trilogy and people are very torn up about them. Oh, they completely changed the character, ruined everything about the original trilogy. Oh, none of this makes any sense because it doesn't fit to the canon I'm familiar with. And honestly, I'm kind of quite tired of these arguments because there's one thing that tears it apart. The third film hasn't come out yet. Now, some of you might think that doesn't matter. If the films haven't held up on their own, then what good are they as a trilogy? And I'm going to be committing blasphemy here, and it does pain me to do this. But if you take a look at the film A New Hope, completely by itself, the film's only okay. You think about it, what does the film actually show us? We know literally nothing about the Empire. We don't even know about the Emperor yet. We don't know anything about Darth Vader. At the point of New Hope, he could have just been one of many. But the fact is, some of the most important points of Star Wars aren't established in the first film. Heck, we don't even get that much more detail in the second one. It's only until episode 6 that we actually get a full amount of details about the universe, about what is going on. These are plot points that build up throughout the films and is paid off in the third installment. The same can be said for the prequel trilogy. Episode 1, we meet Darth Maul, and then obviously he dies. And yet again, don't flood me with stuff about the Clone Wars. That's amazing, but we'll talk about the film at the time. And yeah, we see little snippets of the dark side and the Trade Federation. But yet none of this stuff pays off until episode 3. This is actually when we find out what Darth Sidious's plan actually is, and we see the birth of Darth Vader. And yet none of it will make actual sense unless you watched it as a trilogy. The fact is, you need the Skywalker Saga films in their threes. Because in the end, we're not getting the full story until the story is concluded. And that is how the Star Wars films are set up. They develop over time in their respective trilogies. So whereas a lot of people are complaining about A Force Awakens being a copy of A New Hope, oh, and The Last Jedi ruined all the build-up and details from The Force Awakens. But the fact is, everything we see in these films hasn't had their payoff yet. So the fact is, it's unfair to judge the sequel trilogy when it hasn't become a trilogy yet. Given the amount of work which has gone into the Star Wars universe currently, with the insane amount of comics, TV shows and books, it's only fair to say that they've probably got very big plans for the third installment of the sequel trilogy. So before you pass judgment on the current films, give them an opportunity to actually give us all the films. Give them an opportunity to wrap up plot points, to fine-tune details. And here's the thing, the rule of three doesn't apply to just Star Wars, although that's clearly what I based it on. It's the idea that you need to let a story finish before you could fully judge it. Because the fact is, as long as the story's being told, you can't know much about it. I'm trying to say that there is something at the end that will wrap up and improve everything that came before it. In the end of the day, that's one of the important things about good storytelling, is that the ending is satisfying and it wraps up the story from the beginning. It would have been easy to hate on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but everything in that book/film is important down the line. And it would have been easy to look at the early stages of the MCU and say there just isn't much they can do with these characters. And yet when you look at it now, we are being treated to Infinity War and Endgame, two of the greatest cinematic masterpieces since Lord of the Rings. There's also a lot of skepticism around Toy Story 4, but yet it ties up the story perfectly. And that is what the rule of three is to suggest that the beginning and the middle will never be as good as they can be until you have the end. Because that is where everything comes together. So next time you feel annoyed at an incomplete franchise, hold your feelings back until the franchise is complete. And then reevaluate. Determine if it's in fact as bad as you thought it was, or maybe it was actually really good. You just didn't know it yet. Anyway, I have been Darius the Nerd. And until next time, please like, share, sub and subscribe. Check out my other videos. And also, go to my Instagram, Facebook and TikTok for more information about me and my videos. And also, Alexa, lights off. Bye for now.